Hello, beautiful people. This is Kira, aka Words by Kira, and today we have the very talented, genuine, amazing musician, rapper, producer Ryan, aka Hydroponikz, on. So if you want to learn more about his music journey, then stay tuned.
Can you hear us now? You understand us? What's the plan? These are demands, proper pay, equal voice.
So Ryan, what do you think made you gravitate to music? Like what was it about music that really encouraged you to pursue it?
I mean, it all started from a very young age. I think paying attention to the arts in general. As an immigrant from the Philippines coming here, I was 18 months when I got here, and I didn't know a lick of English, and so the way there are no English classes for toddlers, right? So it's movies, it's music, and that's pretty much how I learned how to communicate in the United States. When I was growing up, my mom, she would sing to me, to sleep. And some of my earliest memories of that is like, she didn't have the greatest voice, but I thought it was perfect.
Yes.
The most important part to me was she was confident in singing to me. Like I'm her son, right? Like, so she's gonna do that. So that probably was my first experience with music. And then, just her being a single mother, like we would, she would have to bring me to whatever neighbor would take me, like she has to go to work by 7 a.m., who's up, and she would just hand me off. And every house that I would go to, there'd be a piano there, or a karaoke machine, something. Back when, oh man, I'm gonna date myself. Back when everyone had cassettes, there was always like one house on the block that had CDs. And, if I ended up at that house, I would go through the entire library, just like, wow, I wouldn't hear music like this in this quality, because all we had was the radio. We had, vinyl tapes and whatnot. So it was just always a fascination. And I think, just growing up, like being in like a predominantly Black school in Jamaica, Queens, it kind of, everyone was talented. Like there was nobody in there who didn't, who couldn't dance, who couldn't play an instrument of some sort.
Mhm.
And so, my babysitters at the time, they would be in the band, and I'd be like in third grade, and I wasn't old enough to be in the band, but I had to stay for practice because they were in practice. And so I was just exposed to that every single day of just like, this is what music is. It's hard work. It's not always fun all the time. And so I learned, practice, patience through that. And even though I was bored, I remember just being bored. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stick around for this practice this time.
Mm.
But then we would end up like going to the pizza shop. I would meet people on the corner, like Jamaica Ave, 188th Street,
Mhm.
in Queens. And there's a pizza place there, and they had arcades. They had large enough tables for all of us. So we would just sit there and just spit our like whatever raps we wrote that day. And it was always just exciting to have something to literally bring to the table at that point. And, everyone was contributing. So that was just, that was amazing because, the fact that I was an immigrant, that I didn't really know English like that well. None of that mattered. It was just, what are you bringing to the table all the time? What are you contributing? So that has stuck with me forever. Just being able to contribute to a larger project, just like this one, just like this interview, even in the household. So, music is it's just that baseline for me. Like, I don't know any other way, really.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can literally just imagine you as a kid in Queens, surrounded by all this culture, all this music, talent, and basically you guys were performing whenever you do this. You literally were getting a fast track class to performing in front of other people. I'm sure if something was whack, they would let you know. If something was dope, they would let you know. So that's probably how you became so confident,
Mm-hmm.
because you had already gone through that process. So what made you have the transition from doing it for fun with your friends and family to deciding I really want to do this for real and make music and albums and things like that?
Yeah. I think here's the thing. I still do it for fun, right? Like I still do it for like my friends and my family, just to, you know, because they enjoy it, right? Like there's like, you know, Christmas time comes and you know, my brother-in-law is like, yo, can you do me a favor? Like we got to put, like they put on a show every Christmas, you know, it's crazy. I got to send you the video.
Yes.
He'll hit me with like, hey, can you do like a quick, like 16 bars, like rap, we're going to rap to this song. And I'm like, okay, sure. And it's just like little things that pop up like that, where people acknowledge, you know, that I have this talent, or that I'm willing to share it. You know, if I'm spending all that time honing that craft and still sharing it, then who else can I share it with? And if there's a cost involved in me sharing that, right? So, you know, I got to spend money to make records. I got to spend money to make videos. And if people want that, then it just becomes this trade-off. It's not really about like, I'm going to do this professionally so I can make money and live off of this, which would be amazing. But naturally, the progression has just been like, hey, if they want an album out of New Zealand, I need to have a means to get to New Zealand, to communicate with New Zealand, to, you know, find a distributor and all that. And all of that costs money. So it's more crowdsourcing than it is, you know, me doing it for profit or doing it for a living, really. But like right now, it's turning into a real nice balance of, you know, I can do this for free, I can do this for money, but it gets done regardless.
That shows me that you really love it. And that, just like you said, it isn't just for money. And your work is really dope. Like okay, we're friends, but I'm really speaking genuinely. Everybody, like, check out Hydroponikz. He's on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music. It's really, really good music, Ryan. Like, for real. You have a lot to say and share. I'm gonna do a clip for you guys so you can hear some of Hydroponikz music.
When's the last time you got to watch the sunrise? I remember when it wasn't only sometimes. We were so free, and we weren't in the confines of the hourglass. That's the past, now it's crunch time. When's the last time you stopped and smelled the fresh air? I turned around and I wonder how we get here. Moving top speed, don't remember what we left there. That was temporary, hustle hereditary.
How would you describe your process with making music? What's it like? How do you like get inspired?
Oh man, there's a lot of different ways I get inspired. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Sometimes I'm in the shower and the way, you know, the drops hit the bottom faucet, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I feel that, you know, just random like that. But more often than not, it's an emotion. It's a raw emotion that I don't know how to quite explain to other people in a normal conversation, or I wasn't able to snap a photo at that time. And some of my other musician colleagues, they completely agree with. I'm probably lifting this quote from another person, but we're basically capturing an emotion, right? Just like you would take a picture of an amazing moment in your life, you know, just trying to capture it and relive it. And if I can hear that song again and feel what I felt at that moment, or at least, you know, kind of understand where I was at that time, then it's a successful song to me. Whether it's in words, whether it's in sound, you know, whether I'm playing on the keyboard or writing a rap or trying to sing, you know, things like that, or mixing two songs together, whatever it is, I'm going to remember that emotion. And more often than not, there isn't a word for that emotion yet. You know, there have been times when I felt so angry that I was happy that I was angry so much, because that means I'm passionate about it. But, you know, there isn't a single word for that, not that I know of, at this moment. And if you find out, let me know so I can write a song about it.
In the comments, people, you know, a word like that.
Yeah, no. Like I said, English is my second language, so, you know, I'm still learning. And, you know, that's another point. It's always a learning process. People who have listened to me since, you know, the early 2000s know that, you know, my style hasn't changed too much from back then, despite the trends in music changing so rapidly. Yet, you know, every time I do try to incorporate something new, it's something learned, something that I've either discovered myself or an expert has taught me, or it's allowed by technology. Yeah, there's just a lot of different ways in which, you know, music tends to sprout up in my life in terms of creating it.
Well, for the people that don't know, Ryan and I actually performed once together so far. I hope we do it again at our Jobs Talent show.
When I say turn it up, y'all say louder. Turn it up, louder. Turn it up, louder. Get money, money, get money, money, money. Get money, money, get money, money, money. Wings in the cheek up, they see me on the creep up. I'm selling train and ain't and put it there, we get the sleep up. Why I move the world and everything to keep the peace up. No midnight calls, wondering if NBC's up. What's going on outside, hoping we're caring. Who gon' win? I hope the goodwill like Karen. It's still be
And we took an old song. What's the name of it, Ryan? I can't believe I'm forgetting.
Oh, it was If I Ruled the World by Nas and Lauryn Hill.
Yes. We took that song, the melody, and then Ryan, being the artist he is, suggested that we do our own lyrics to accompany it, that would be more genuine and come from the heart. And I just remember us making time to do our little verses and do our choruses. I mean, Ryan definitely wrote the majority, but I helped with the chorus. And just sitting, listening to the music and thinking of what we wanted to say together, I'm like, this is so cool. And I think back at that time, I was just kind of taking myself a little more seriously as an artist and a creative. And I know for me, I've realized now I'm in such a better place of acknowledging that about myself and accepting it. And I think for me, I cleared out a lot of like emotional baggage and distractions out of my life. And that made it a lot easier for me to actually produce work because I was just really emotionally weighed down. And I'm sure, Ryan, you understand, like when you're in that space, it's really hard to make something.
Definitely. There was a period maybe from, I don't know, 2014 to 2017, like 3 years. I just did nothing creatively, which was wild for me. I think part of it was, you know, this, like the creation process started to feel more like a process, like a job almost, where, you know, this is it. Make a song. Let's get ready for the promo. Is there going to be a video? Who can we shout this out to? Who's gonna distribute it? And, you know, a lot of that, not that it takes away from it, because now I find it fun to do all of that stuff, right? Yeah. But it's hard. Like you have to allow yourself to really express what you truly mean. You can't just do it halfway, mm-hmm. you know, just for the sake of having product. So yeah, I totally feel that need to create, but also you got to do it right. And I think part of that collaboration that we did was exactly that, finding exactly what it is we both wanted to say, mm-hmm. You know, finding a common ground. And, you know, I always believe that music is communication ultimately, right? And we were able to communicate in a different way, very different from what we're doing right now, right? Like we were able to pick to find something that we wanted to say together, say it rhythmically, and you have an amazing voice, so you belted that out to, I don't know how many people were at that show. There was a lot of heads. That was a packed show, right? And then on top of that, we were able to incorporate other people that we haven't even met like that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we had percussion, we had hosts, we had photographers who were all ready to do it. So um, that's just one of those moments that, you know, I don't have words for,
I know.
but you know, the emotion is there. And yeah, I thank you for doing that with me. That was a lot. That had a lot to do with you know, reigniting like that creative passion for sure.
Oh, thank you, thank you, Ryan. I feel the same way. I feel like that moment, I just felt so inspired, and it felt really natural.
Hmm.
That was another great part of it. I mean, I don't know what other collaborations are like. I'm sure sometimes it can be stressful and you still make amazing work, and but when you have a just a natural vibe where you guys just click and the music is there and you're having fun and you're encouraging each other, yeah, it's really indescribable. For anyone who's interested in like collaborating, do it. Do it
Oh,
because it's really great.
definitely. Reach out to me, reach out to Kira. Like, we're normal people. Like, we might be creatives, but like everyone is kind of a creative in
Yeah.
their own way. So, you know, there's not a language that we can't speak through that. So definitely reach out. Like, this is communication straight up.
So recently, Ryan, you made this really empowering song talking about what's been going on called Hands Up. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to create that song? And the video is dope. So, yeah, what was that like making those?
Oh, thank you. Hands up. That's my the producer on this current album that we're working on called NY2NZ, which is New York to New Zealand. Um, the producer on this entire album, Soulchef, good friend of mine, Sean from Auckland, New Zealand. Um, man, we were texting each other. It was, you know, maybe like April or May, and it was a time when, you know, you couldn't turn on you couldn't turn on a TV, you couldn't turn on your phone, you couldn't look at any websites without seeing like graphic images, right, of what was going on. And um, I remember there being a feeling like, why are they blasting this to us? You know, like, especially at this time, you know, we're all inside, we're all watching TV, and we're all consuming media like that. Why are they blasting this now at us when this has been happening for generations? You know, so why are we choosing now to be outraged? I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, camera phones, things like that,
Yeah.
being widely available. Um, you know, security footage always being available, things like that, word of mouth, Twitter. Um,
Hmm.
and I just remember getting, I don't know if I could call it angry, because it wasn't really angry. It was more like a call to do something, right? And you know, not that saying that writing a song and making a music video in your bedroom is really doing anything,
I
but
think it can. I think it can do something.
I think it can. I think it also can't. But
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, this, I'm proud of this work, so I'm not even gonna get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember texting him and being like, you know, it's funny that we're on opposite sides of the world and we're still experiencing the same thing. Yet there are people who deny this still, that this exists, that you know, there really is an injustice. There aren't cops that are out there whiling, like, you know, pulling you over first thing in the morning. Like, that's, you know, that's not really what policing is. You know, there used to be police that would walk up and down the block, know everybody's names like that, right? And the person we could go to if something went down, and then that disappeared. That disappeared. That turned into, you know, and I'm talking about like maybe late '90s, like '99 ish, like before 9/11, really. Yeah, it'd be a time where the only time you saw cops was when something went wrong. You know, there was an association with bad and cops
Mhm.
in society. And so, you know, you go, you grow up like that, all of that gets bottled in, you know, all of that turns into, well, now it's, you know, 15 years later, 20 years later, I got to do something about it, about these, and maybe not about you know, everything going outside. I can't change that by myself, but I got to do something with the emotions that are inside. You
Yes.
know, a lot of my friends are victim to this.
Mhm.
um, and you know, not just police, but government corruption in general, right? There's a lot of people who are struggling to pay rent
Yep.
for reasons that are out of their own control.
Mhm.
And it's just that very simple question of, can I live? Like, can I, can I have a life that, you know, you promised me, and that I'm not just renting this life from you guys? Like, can I really live here in this land of freedom?
Yes.
And it turns out that those feelings that I had were shared all across the world. It's not just an American thing. It's a worldwide thing where, you know, we're victims of imperialism, colonialism, the person with power taking over and quote unquote setting things up for us, really setting things up for themselves. And, you know, we're the batteries for that. We're the workers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always had that feeling. And, you know, Soulchef was just like, you know, our album was done at this point too. Like, we had completed everything. He's like, yo, it's ready to ship. And I'm like, nah, we gotta add something fresh to this. So he gave me like this really, it's a beat he was gonna throw away anyway. He was like, I wasn't even gonna use this beat. I'm like, you're crazy. Like, this is exactly that kind of energy. Like, you know, if I'm in the street running, or, you know, like with a group of people and we're trying to get hype, like this is the beat.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I wrote it really quick. Like I think it only, I don't know, it 36 hours tops, like recorded, like sent back to him. And it doesn't usually take me, I don't even know if that's fast. Like, some people just go but they don't even write anything. They just record and put out whatever.
It's fast, Ryan.
That's fine.
To me.
Yeah. I felt like it was fast for me, because I usually take a long time with what I write. And I've found that music that is charged like that, with that raw emotion, usually gets processed very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just getting it out, just getting my emotions out there, and not being afraid to say it either. You know, I have family who are military, who are police.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, we get, you know, Thanksgiving is hot, but you know, I'm not afraid to say that to them. And I'm also hoping that they accept me for what I say, right? Or what I think, because that's just what I believe. I respect their beliefs like that. But when it comes time to, like, if your beliefs mean that these people don't get to live, I can't live with it. And so, you know, that's really where it came from. In terms of writing it, making the video especially, was just, oh man, I hadn't made a video in so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think my last video was like maybe 2010, and it, like, I don't even know if it really reached people like that. But this one, I was just like, you know what, I gotta incorporate everything. I gotta incorporate, like, the fact we're seeing it on TV, the fact that all these emotions are bottled inside of me, the fact that you know, it's not just me feeling this, it's across the world. So we had protest footage from all over the place. We had LA protest footage, we had London protest footage, Australia, just, you know, everyone was in there feeling the same way. So, you know, thank you to everybody who contributed to that. That was amazing. My friend Jin, who is also, you know, very musically inclined too, he sent me his footage a little too late. So I was like, oh man, the video's already done. But I was listening to the audio in his footage, and I'm like, oh, you're the guy leading the chants. You're the guy saying no justice. They're saying no peace. Can I put this in the video? And he was like, oh, absolutely. And I was so grateful for that. I was like, oh man, this video really feels like something that I didn't just make, but everybody was able to contribute to. And you know, it was just like a hub for all our feelings to get out there.
Ain't no hashtag they haven't coined yet. Nuh-uh, my words are poignant. There's only one love, so better join it. Get your hands off me, now get your hands up. Get your hands off me, now get your hands up. Can you hear us now? You understand us? What's the plan? These are demands. Proper pay, equal voice. We need both, you don't really have a choice. Face down on the concrete, now you all see we plant the seed and we rose like Royce. But all they care about is profits. Everybody stop it. People are...
And on top of that, you know, everybody's sharing the video too. Like I was fully expecting to put the video out and everyone being like, oh man, look at this Asian rapper talking about Black Lives Matter. Like, what is that, right? But I got the complete, and you know, that's just the fear that I have in the back of my head that, you know, I'm trying to squash and, you know, suppress. But really just putting it out there, taking that step showed me like, okay, you know, there's no reason to doubt anything in terms of what I feel or what I can and can't say. Now I'm going to continue to do it responsibly for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, it's an amazing feeling. I'm still riding that high right now because, you know, I'm like, while we're speaking here, my phone is blowing up. I'm trying really hard to not look at my phone for the past 2 days, and it's been very difficult. But yeah, I could talk about this one forever. So
Well, I think, well, just back to what you said about, the thoughts of like, I'm an Asian rapper, I'm talking about Black Lives Matter. When you're genuine and what you feel is real and you're really standing up for other people, no matter what category you are in or ethnicity or, you know, different identification, people feel that realness. And Ryan, I personally know you. We've talked about this since we've met each other about human rights and our different cultures and standing up against racism and microaggressions. And you taught me that word. I didn't even know what that word was, you know. So look it up for people that don't know. It's a real thing.
oh yeah, it's definitely a real thing. Yeah, we would speak for hours. Just hours, just talking about things. And you know, I'm going to go right back to, this is communication. Like, this is always, you know, a back and forth. It's not just me talking into a screen or into my phone, putting these words out there, now not caring about how they affect other people. Like, that feedback is real. I'm going to get that. I'm going to receive that. And that's always something to consider when creating. And it goes both ways. Like, you can take the criticism how you want. You could be upset about it, or you can love it. But when you actually get the love back, oh man, like it's another feeling where you're just like, okay, how can I pay that forward? All that feedback I've gotten, like, how can I then shoot it back to everybody else?
Yeah.
You know, maybe reach a larger demographic, reach a larger crowd. Like, who can I speak to? You know, and like I said, like I feel like I'm a regular person. Like, these are just regular thoughts. They just get expressed in a more consumable manner, I suppose.
And that's important because people, the attention spans now is totally different.
Oh man.
So consumable, that's what we need for people to really digest it and register it. Another question I wanted to ask you, Ryan, is how do you feel your music has changed over the years? I know you said you haven't really altered your style too much, which I think is really great because you're staying true to your sound. But in terms of like the content, how do you think it's changed, shifted? Have you noticed that it has?
Certainly. And I think people will notice in this upcoming work that yeah, a lot of it is just more mature now. Before I would just say things because they sounded cool, right? Not really caring about what the actual content was. You know, I grew up in an era of like where people liked, you know, those really multi-syllable wordy rappers, right? So that I've carried that the whole way with me. But this time it's more, I'm not going to say it just to say it like that, just so it sounds cool to you. Like, I'm going to say something that matters to me at this very moment and then make it sound cool to you. So, you know, and the things that matter to me, right, are like, you know, my family, my business, you know, just seeing my friends happy, things like that, safety, health. So you're going to find a lot of those themes in my music these days, where, you know, there were sprinkles of that back in the day. But, you know, and ironically, my first album was called Grown. But now I definitely feel grown, right? Yes. So, you know, if I could switch these titles. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, you're going to see a lot of advice as to how to navigate this crazy world. It's changed. Like you can see it today. Like today's world is nothing like last year's world.
Oh no.
And there's gonna have to be a new set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying I'm the authority on making those rules, but I can tell you how I'm managing, and you could pick up a little something from that. I mean, I definitely feel that way when I watch your videos. Kira, I'm like, okay, this is how she's dealing with things. This is how she's getting her message out. This is how people are responding, and this is how ultimately too taking care of your own mental health. Like that's what most of this is about for me. Is it's therapy, not just for the listener, but also for me. Like I got to get this out. So my music certainly wasn't therapy before. It was just something cool to have, something to play in the car really loud. But now it's more thought out, I think. And there's more
band vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is dope. So the first thing you mentioned was your family, of course. And I know you and your beautiful wife, Pam, are expecting a beautiful baby girl in a month. So I just wanted, for the fans out there who are excited about this, what is one of the things that you're most excited for with your daughter coming?
Oh, man. I mean,
loaded question.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I'm happy that I'm nervous. Like first of all, it shows me that there's going to be a period of further growth after this, right? Where I'm talking about music that like people can use as a guide, because that's just how I manage this world. I'm nervous now for the next step, which means there's going to be a lot more figuring out that I have to do in my own head, in my life, in between other people. Me and my wife, we have to communicate even more. Mm-hmm. And we don't spend a moment apart these days. Yeah. And we really have a lot to learn about ourselves, especially. And I think I'm most excited about teaching my daughter everything I've learned, from, I don't know, tying shoelaces to, how to reduce a broth to a simmer, or, we always joke about like how, Pam, she does, I don't think she has any art up in here right now, but she, she draws. She also is a professional graphic designer. So we always joke like, our daughter's going to grow up with two creatives and she's going to rebel. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to express myself as a doctor, like as a lawyer. And I'm like, we're always joking about how she's going to rebel in like the right way. So, I don't know. I'm very excited just to see like someone else carrying our heartbeat outside of us, and, running and figuring things out. Like I can't wait to just let her play with everything safely. I fully plan on bringing her into this room and touching all these keys, and, having some real tactile like experiences that are beyond, our phones, beyond TV screens, things like that. I want her to feel like this button is what, C feels like. And that's good, if she likes it, who knows? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want her to hold anything back. I don't want her to feel like she can't ever tell me anything. I think in allowing, my daughter to do that, to be open with me, will also teach me how to allow others to be open with me as well. And, that's something we all could work on for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys.
Indeed. Thank you, Kira. I'm looking forward to this. Your hair is very nice.
Thank you.
So I saw that you got that done in the last video. So.
All right. You really keep it up.
Oh, come on. I'm there since day one. You know that.
Yeah, you have been there since day one.
I guess I'm gonna ask you, like, where, like, for me, I create not really knowing where it's gonna go. I have a million songs that just stay in this room,
Mhm.
for one reason or another. Either I don't think they're good enough, or they're just not something people need to hear at this moment.
Mhm.
Um, how do you feel about, like, your videos? Like, do you find that um, you have like a plan in terms of the content you're going to put out, or you kind of just freestyle it, put a video out of that, or I don't know, what's your process like? I'm certainly interested in hearing that.
Ooh, I love this question. So what I do, shout out to my friend Laquita, she encouraged me to just have like a notebook of all my creative ideas that I have and to just write it down. And so I literally just have like a random long list of YouTube video ideas. So I have
Oh,
like collaboration ideas, single videos that I can do. And I kind of just think, what do I want to do next from that idea pile? What can I do next? Because some of them are going to definitely take more effort and time to put it all together. So that's pretty much what I do. And then from my first video with my other friend, Bill, I started thinking about, okay, who else do I want to speak to? What other people do I know that I think would be really great for the channel? And I'm really interested in their story. And I hope the viewers are too. So that's pretty much what it's been like. It'll be spur of the moment. I do have some planned out, my collaboration videos, because, I want to honor other people's time and make sure it can really happen. But like the hair video, me getting my hair done, I just got there and I'm like, why don't I just start filming me getting my hair done a little bit? Like, why not? And my hairstylist is so cool. She's like, yeah, girl. And she posts videos herself. So
that's
that was spur of the moment. But yeah, I have a list and I just kind of pick and choose what I want to do next.
that's cool. I gotta make a list.
Yeah.
Oh man. um Bill was the cereal guy.
Yes,
Oh man,
Bill.
yeah, that was cool. That was cool, 'cause I was like, what are they gonna talk about? And oh man, just that whole process, you could really apply this process to anything that you love. Which, I always hear people who are like, oh, you're so talented, I wish I was that talented. And they're not saying that to me necessarily, but they're saying that to other people.
They say
And
it to you.
how can I, and I'm like, yo, your talent is whatever it is that you like doing. If you can chop an onion in a very efficient way, that, like, you're in the kitchen, you're creative, you have to be, right? Even if you can't cook, like getting dressed. there was a United Masters. It's like this independent, not really a record label, like a distributor.
Mhm.
And they had a panel, I think it was, last month, I guess, called Select Con, to promote their new tiered payment structure, which I don't think you should pay for that, but whatever. And there was one guy, and he was like, look, oh, you know who it was? Do you listen to this guy, Russ?
No.
Russ is like this, I guess he's an influencer, but he's a musician, right? And his whole message is like, you can do this by yourself. Just don't overthink. Don't
Mhm.
leave anything in the back. Like, you're not making it because you're leaving something on the table instead of putting it out there because you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
And so one of the points that he really drove home was that the art isn't really the art. The art is the artist themselves, right? So I watch Words by Kira because, hey, I know you and I know what you're capable of producing, but also, like, I like seeing that development. I like seeing, like, if your first video wasn't super clean, and then we fast forward to this video, there's progression there, and really people want that story of, you know, well, people want a happy ending always. People want that progression,
Mhm.
right? That improvement over time, and that's really what it is. It's like, don't get scared. Um, but my original point, I was reminded of all that, so I said that. But my original point was, Russ had said, I could already tell your music isn't good because you can't dress. Now, that's wrong. That's very wrong,
Hey,
right?
Russ.
Cause,
Is
'cause
there truth to that though? I gotta think.
yeah, you got to think of it. That makes you think like, like, wow. So, it all contributes to the fact that the artist is the actual art that people are interested in.
Mhm.
But man, when he said that, I was like, oh no, like I feel attacked. And then, but I was like, you know what? I do put that same thought into what I wear every day.
Mhm.
It's the same amount of thought that goes into my music, goes into cooking, goes into, you know, even how I have conversations. Like it's talent is not, they say you're born with it, right? But it's also something you can learn and something you can work at.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
the beauty of it is starting really raw and messy even, and bringing it to something refined, and being able to show off your process and how refined you are. So that definitely reminded me of that. So when I saw that you were doing a video, you getting your hair done, I was like, yes, like this is, I'm not coming into this video like learning about how I can improve myself. I'm just watching you improve yourself, and it feels great. It feels great to watch that because other people are going through the same thing you are, whether you know it or not, and there's a way to relate there. I don't know. I turned this into a long-winded thing, but
No, I love it. Thank you, right. You're like breathing life into me, like, girl, keep going, keep going. I really appreciate it. No, you're so right. I've looked at like my first video, my first two videos, and I'm like, oh, little baby words back here.
little baby words back here.
I'm like, wow, this was just so, me just turning on the camera, just giving it a shot. And now, I mean, I have bigger dreams, better equipment. When I get more subscribers, y'all want better equipment, and tell your friends, spread the videos.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see, I just like you're saying, and it feels really good. I'm sure with your music, you listen to your older stuff, and then you listen to how you are today. The flow, I'm sure, is tighter. The content is stronger, and I mean, you were always dope. But you know what I mean. You can see that growth.
Definitely, definitely, and I think the key is a lot of people want to see that. So a lot of people wait for the perfect moment. It's not gonna come. There is none.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna wait for the perfect work of art. There is none. You want to be a one-hit wonder? That's exactly how you do it. Wait for the perfect moment. Wait for the perfect work of art. One-hit wonder. That's cool. If that's what you want to do. If you just want to make the quick buck, hey, by all means,
Yeah.
you have that right. But if you're really out here to help people, show it. Be authentic.
Yeah. And you have to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I think back to growing up, my mom is very ambitious, accomplished woman, and she would always encourage me, try, Kira, go out there. You can do it. You can do anything. And I was really, really, really shy. And I used to be mad nervous, like, I don't know, I'm gonna mess up. And I didn't go for certain things. I mean, other things she's like, girl, you're gonna try it, okay? And I had to. But then there are other times where she would encourage me and I would say, no, I'm too nervous. I don't think it's right for me. And I'm just so grateful that now I've reached a point where I try so many more things. So many more things. And I think it's because I'm not as consumed with what other people think, and I'm not as afraid to fail, because it's not the end of the world. You can get back up and try again the next day if you want, or you can say, I'm not really feeling it, and do something else. It's not this whole big earth-shattering experience that will last forever. Sometimes it's tough to fail. Don't get me wrong, but you will live to see another day,
Certainly. Yeah. I mean, getting back up is part of what people want to see too.
Yeah.
I think the confidence that you achieve in trying new things and knowing that, okay, I've done this before, I could do it again. You also then achieve the confidence of knowing what you shouldn't do. And it's a confidence of like, I'm not going to do that because I already know what else I can do that's more worth it. Or I know, I've learned from this experience already. Right. So it's not, I guess the message isn't to just like throw yourself out there and subject yourself to like, cyberbullying or whatever, like cancel, like, yeah, don't get canceled over this, but also, get that experience. There's, especially when you have none to lose.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like
You're so right. Like, why? You don't have anything to lose. Just go for it.
yeah, like a lot of my music was actually I want to say besides these latest works, all of them have been done in, you know, my mother's apartment in my childhood bedroom.
I love
Um,
that.
and that really was like, okay, well, I have the equipment. Like if I'm not doing anything with it, what's the point? So let me just do something. And I mean, I'm not, I'm not no superstar by any means, but I can't believe what it's gotten me,
Yeah.
you know? I can't believe like how many people that I resonate with now.
Mm-hmm.
How, you know, and just how easy it is to not necessarily make friends, but be able to just communicate in general, you know, just to be able to express myself and accept other people's expressions from like being in the bedroom, playing video games, like not having a job, you know, waking up at 6 p.m. to go to sleep at 6 a.m., just playing video games, not even putting pants on. Like from that to this household where there's another human being who actually likes me enough to live with me and
Yeah.
to have a child with me, like, come on.
Yes.
That's,
And you got your own studio now.
yeah, it's all gratitude all day, you know, like all of this is a practice in gratitude. It's a lesson in, you know, really, even if you have nothing, be thankful for what it is that you do have, because you don't know what that's going to blossom into.
Absolutely. Ooh, gratitude. That's
Always.
weird. If you guys want to take anything away from that, gratitude. Gratitude and letting your light shine.
Definitely let your light shine,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely be grateful, because man, I sometimes I think about like if my mom never sang to me as a child, or if she just left me home with no media to consume, you know, like what kind of person would I turn into? And not to say it would be bad, I'd just be different, and I don't know that I can be anything other than me right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, just thankful for how everything has turned out, and you know, really hoping to share that mind state with other people so that they can lift themselves up. They can get to where they need to. They can fight for what they need to,
Yes.
um, especially if they're scared to fight in this world where nobody can go outside and really express their opinions in person anymore. They're just, you know, typing away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are they going to learn? And they've got to get it from somewhere.
Yep.
If it's me, if it's you,
Wherever they get it.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ryan. I love that last part. I'm feeling it. That was
Okay.
off the cuff. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing your perspective, experiences, and your music journey with all of us today. I really appreciate it.
Kira, thank you for having me on here. I just love speaking to you in general. I honestly forgot that we were recording things, and this felt really good. So you know, especially being in a virtual world, like this is as close as we're gonna get for now. So thank you.
Oh, of course, Ryan. I love talking to you too. I know it's been too long. We haven't had like our one-on-one conversations like usual in such a long time.
Yeah, we're unpacking about 6 months of material here, so
I know we really condensed it for you guys. It could have been totally longer.
definitely. All right, thank you, Kira.
Of course, of course. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Bye.
When's the last time you got to watch the sunrise? I remember when it wasn't only sometimes. We were so free and we